Welcome back to another episode of the Hermit Poetry Series. I'm Neil Aitken, and on this channel I read poetry, mostly work by contemporary poets, occasionally poems of my own, and once in a while poems from the past. Today's poem comes to us from Lillias Bever from her collection Bellini and Istanbul. And this won the Tupelo Press Judges Prize, published by Tupelo Press back in 2005. And I remember encountering this book shortly after it came out and being very impressed with the writing. And as is sometimes the case, I have not seen anything very much since the book. And I hope that she's still writing. If she's like me and takes forever to finish book projects, I totally understand. Or needs time off to work on other things. That's also completely understandable. But I do really adore the work and wanted to share some of it with you today. So this is a poem entitled Young Man Drawing, from about midway through the collection. Young Man Drawing. Cross-legged, holding a reed in his right hand, he is writing, or rather drawing, holding his breath, his hand sweeping across the page in strokes that scroll and unscroll as light moves across the waters of the Bosphorus, unraveling its fluid, indecipherable script, it like language making and unmaking itself, speaking or appearing to have spoken. In the Nakashane, the imperial workshop, the young man is drawing, or as some have seen it, writing, with the faint shadow of a mustache along his upper lip and a ring in his ear. In perfect concentration, he bends to his task, grasping the pen loosely between three fingers as the page fills before him with letters that leap and swerve like the birds above the Bosphorus, or like the patterns that grow on his embroidered robe, golden arabesques of plants and vines on a blue ground that jump out like flames onto the wall behind him, where some verses of the Quran celebrate the words of the prophet, "There is no God but God." The young man writing is celebrating God, the beauty of the world, drawing himself also into the picture, the patterns of his robe, the curves of his turban, the letters that leap on the wall behind him, without making a single image. Though it tempts him, these loops and swirls of an alphabet in which animals hide and faces peer, without transgressing the Quran, which forbids idolatry, letters like the flights of birds, like vines, like the waves along the Bosphorus, he can still trace the shape of the world's body in language that speaks of it, dipping and rising, leaping and swerving, lines that make the word possible. Anyways, gorgeous poetry, highly recommend it. And I encourage you to check out Bellini in Istanbul. I'll have the link below in the description. And see if you can find more information, more of her work out there. But a great poet, and one that I think perhaps gets overlooked. So here's to this poet, to Lillias Bever, or Bive, or however it is pronounced. One never knows. When you learn multiple languages, you realize that you just don't know how to pronounce anything at the end of the day. As names shift and change as we move from place to place, and we adapt and our names adapt, sometimes willingly and sometimes unwillingly or unconsciously, always adapting. I'm grateful for the power of language and poetry and the ability to imagine a world that we live in, as well as the worlds that live beyond us. And I'm grateful for this opportunity, which I've had to share with you this poem and other poems throughout the season. So I'm Neil Aitken. This is the Hermit Poetry Series, and I encourage you to keep reading and writing, engaging the world as best as you can, and finding joy in what you're doing. Until next time, I hope you stay safe and stay well and stay active, creating things and strengthening and supporting those that create as well. And until next time, farewell, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.